Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again. And if you're anything like me, which I assume you are because huge narcissist, you too probably really enjoyed Jimmy Kimmel and his YouTube channel. In fact, my favorite videos that he does are the ones in regards to celebrities reading mean tweets about themselves. And I think it's a combination of the tweets themselves, how outrageous they are, and in some cases, how very accurate they are, but also the celebrities actually reading them and responding to them, and you get to see their reaction. It really hits me right in the feels department. So if you like those kind of videos or any of the other great videos that he puts out, as I'm sure you've probably seen some at one point or another, definitely go check out his channel. You can find it by clicking on the annotation on the screen right here or clicking on the link in the description box below. And that's not the only action going on down there, if you know what I'm saying. But definitely check it out, subscribe if you're interested. And the reason I kind of bring this up too is not only is that one of my favorite non-fitness related channels to watch, but I'm going to be watching a lot more of those kind of things only because, as you guys probably know, I am taking a deload. Yes, your friend, that's me in case you don't realize what I'm talking about, is taking a deload, and I'm taking one early. So I'm calling it quits on the BBSM program by about 2 weeks. I really initially wanted to push through it, but I got to the point where I don't want to just go through the motions, and I know my body well enough from years and years of exploring that I just know that I need to call it quits right now. However, I'm doing this for my own good so I can come back stronger and better, both physically and probably also mentally at this point. And the way I look at it is kind of like a sports player does in season, meaning that I've been pushing myself really hard since about November of last year. So that's close to 9 months now. And just like anybody else, I need time to recover and get stronger. And I haven't given myself that opportunity. I've ran BBSM 3 cycles pretty much back to back to back. I've done 3 powerlifting meets, and I haven't really taken any time away from the gym or any time away from just hitting heavy weights. And unfortunately, I'm not Superman. I mean, it would be ideal if I was. It would make these things a lot easier. Not to mention that X-ray vision could probably come in handy every now and then. But my body is breaking down, and I'm not getting any younger, and I know for the longevity side of things, a deload is probably in my best interest. Not to mention it's 4th of July week or just ended. I had some friends in town. I also am going to be traveling all next week in Seattle. I'll be home for a weekend. I'll be going to Chicago for a week, home for a weekend, back to Seattle for another week. It's just everything's gonna line up well in my opinion, as I'd have a lot of trouble hitting these last 2 peak weeks on BBSM anyway. Now, as far as that goes, I'm for sure taking at least a week off, so anyone in the Seattle area who wanted to train with me, I don't think that's gonna be possible this first time around. Maybe the second time in 2-3 weeks. That'll be easier to do. I do have a couple people out in Chicago I said I was going to try to train with. That might be just a straight deload week, so I'm going to really ease my way back into it. And during that time, I'm really going to focus on what program I want to do next. Now, before you guys all jump down my throat and say go back on BBSM, I will say that I love BBSM. It has been an awesome program for me. I've added close to 200 pounds on my total. I really enjoy working with Dan Green. He's literally the best in the world at what he does in his weight class. However, like I said, it's been really tough on me, both mentally and physically, but also on my wallet. So I do get hooked up with stuff because of my YouTube channel and giving people exposure or word of mouth, that kind of thing. But this is a program that I've paid for out of my pocket for the last 3 cycles of me running it. And when I say cycle, I mean programming cycle and not drug cycle. And surprisingly enough, a lot of people are confused about that. Although, speaking of cycles, I'm like the only one who hasn't been accused of being a fake natty yet. So I take offense to that because that means that my physique is not overly impressive and people are just like, oh, he's got to be natural. Look at the way he looks. Side rant over. But these cycles have been running on BBSM. They cost me $350 for each one. So I've ran 3. We're talking about over $1,000 in programming in less than 7-8 months, because I took like a week off in between just to recover. So it's been fairly expensive, and I learned a lot. I got a lot stronger, but my wallet just needs to move on. We need to take a break. We need to cool things down a little bit. So if you've ever been in a relationship where you take a break, you pretty much know that means it's over. You're not getting back together. So no ill will towards Dan or the program. I love it. but it's just time for me to move on, and there's a lot of other stuff I want to try. So I'm going to be trying to figure that out over the next couple of weeks, and I'm sure because I just said that, I'm going to get a ton of suggestions in the suggestion and comment box below, which is cool. I'll read it, look over it. I will take what you say into consideration. No, I'm not starting CrossFit just because I have a lot of CrossFit shoes, although some of the people that do CrossFit do look pretty jacked and tan, if you know what I'm saying. But that's where I stand for right now. What I'm going to do after this is just show you a couple of clips from my last actual lifting day. I'll probably actually rehash some of the stuff I said, but I just want to keep you guys in the loop of what's going on. It's going to be interesting these next couple of weeks too, getting out videos because of no training, plus I'm on the road. So I'm going to try to vlog some of it. I'm not sure if that's going to really be possible or not, but I will try to get some kind of content. So you'll probably see some of those really weird and interesting Q&A videos from the hotel. Maybe we'll do some vlogs around the town. I don't know what's going to go on. You'll just have to tune in to see. So in the meantime, as always, thanks for watching. And I would say stay big, but I have more clips. And I have an intro or outro for that now too. So let's check the next clip. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again in the car. It's been quite a while since you've seen this somewhat aesthetic face. I pause only because we all know it's not very aesthetic. But speaking of aesthetics, I do have on a Bodybuilding Brothers t-shirt, or Bodybuilding Bros. So Frank and Harry, thanks so much for sending this out. I really appreciate it. Fits a little snug, but, and again, maybe I'm just getting fat, which probably wouldn't be too much of a stretch on the truth, but it's been a while since I made a video. There's been some things going on. Now, if you guys watched my last video, you guys probably know that I talked about having a deload. Well, I've decided to go ahead and jump into that early. However, the only reason I'm filming today and I have my gym apparel on, and you'll see me in the gym in just a second, is only because I really want to get one last pull day in before taking a break. So my deadlifts have actually been progressing okay, despite the fact that sometimes my squats have been having some issues, and even on bench it's been slowing down just a bit. I figured I'd get one last pull day in, not to mention I'm flying out on Monday to go to Seattle for a week, which starts off pretty much a 3-week tour for me where I'll be traveling for a majority of 3 weeks, so I'm gonna have to really cut back on my training anyway, so I figure it's a good time to get a deload in. But again, I just want to get one more pull in, and it's right after the 4th of July, so it's the 5th of July today, as you probably saw from my fancy graphic. But I hope you guys all had a good holiday if you're here in the States. Having some time off of work and time off from the gym, just been busy, and I haven't really had any videos to make that have really been kind of burning in my mind. And that's one of the things that I really stress to people who want to get into YouTube and make videos. Really be passionate about what you do. And I really haven't had the passion the last couple of days to make a video. I didn't want to make one just for the sake of making one, because I think that's pretty transparent in how I actually talk and get involved, and there probably wouldn't be as many penis jokes, and let's be honest, that's why most of you watch my channel these days. But another thing I just wanted to mention as I'm kind of just rambling through my thoughts and stuff going on in my head, I did want to say for probably the last time in a video that we are doing the pre-orders for the Campbell Fitness t-shirts again. Those will stop on July 7th. Once those are done, we will send them off, the orders, to the printing company. They will be printed. We'll probably have them July 21st, and we'll send them out from there. Now, a lot of you guys have already gone ahead and bought them. They're 20 bucks. Shipping isn't that bad if you're in the States. I know it gets a little bit more pricey if you're overseas, but unfortunately, that's just the way it works. We don't make any money on shipping. We charge you whatever it charges us to ship it out, our shipping company. So I apologize if you're overseas and you haven't been able to get a shirt, because it is a bit pricey. But for anyone who has bought one, really, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. I know you guys don't have to do that, and I know a lot of YouTubers sell shirts. I try not to over inundate you guys with them, so I only do them maybe twice a year. I think this is the second time in probably a year I've done t-shirts, but I always get a good response, so I really, really thank you guys if you've done that. And now that I've kind of hoarded myself out again for the last time on at least a YouTube video, you'll probably see some more on Facebook and Instagram just to kind of get those pre-orders done, only because again, July 7th, they will be done. But that being said, time to get to the gym, time to get lifting, and maybe you'll see some other clips after that, but let's get to it. All right, so literally just went in and did deadlifts. Now I did spend some time warming up as far as mobility goes and working my way up here, but here you see 495, so just about 500 pounds. Goes up really fast, felt really good. From here, we then jumped right up to 545 pounds. Again, this felt really good, went up really fast as well. So getting it up fast has not ever really been too much of a problem for me, but I'm glad to at least say I'm keeping it consistent in all aspects of life. Now, my last lift for the day was 585, so this is the weight I worked up to, and it's awesome just because 6 plates on the side looks pretty badass. However, it didn't really look too smooth on this pull. It looked more like a stiff, like a deadlift a little bit, but still happy with the way that the weight was moving. From there, I actually went to my fiance's house. Her mother, or my soon-to-be mother-in-law, made this big turkey dinner, so I had all the leftovers. I made a sandwich, of course, And then we have some green bean casserole, there's some mushroom casserole, and there's some mashed potatoes. So it's like Thanksgiving in July. So pretty solid post-workout meal. Hope you guys all had a good 4th of July weekend. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big.